विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Panchatattva 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 Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva 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 Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna Ki Jai
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to this Friday session, Bank Holiday Friday. Not many devotees here today, but never mind. We'll carry on with our Friday class. Nice to see here Gaurharti Mataji, Hamsini Mataji, Ambada Prabhu, Radha Mohan Prabhu, Shankar Prabhu, Sumadhura Radhika Mataji, Sumed, and Vraj Kumar Govinda Prabhu, and Jashubhan Mataji. So Hare Krishna. Let us do the invocation and discuss something from this Chaitanya Charitamrita, very wonderful chapter. Madhu Mataji just joined. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shtam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिया प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this Friday's Chaitanya Charitamrita series. So, very beautiful chapter today we're going to discuss. Whenever I open Chaitanya Charitamrita and spend some time reading it, my realization is that the Prince Chaitanya Charitamrita is written so systematically, so nicely, and also it incorporates the principles of Bhagavad Gita as well as Srimad Bhagavatam. There are number of verses from Srimad Bhagavatam can be found in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A number of verses from Bhagavad Gita, not only from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, but all other Puranas, Vedas, other places were repeatedly quoted. And it appears to me that this one book is enough. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that if everything is lost, all the Vedic literature is lost. But if you have just Chaitanya Charitamrita with you, nothing is lost. That was the verdict of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Very beautiful chapter. Whenever we sit and read a little bit, actually it cleanses our mind and heart day in and day out. We just go through so many situations, forcefully, unconsciously, consciously, some or other, being in this material world, tortured, tossed by the waves of this material nature. We go through so many things. But as soon as we open these books and we sincerely sit down and read the translation purports, it's like kind of purging our, like, bad things from our consciousness and heart. That's what we feel. And that's why it is said that we must, that's why Prabhupada said, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, not just one off, one day, but reading every day. It really helps our consciousness. We feel so happy actually just by reading. We become non-envious. we naturally become non-envious to everyone. And we become friendly to everyone, because when we read these scriptures, we are reminded of our true identity, being the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. This is being reminded. When we are reminded about the truth, we automatically become humble and become non-envious, become content in our heart. So that's why this reading scripture on a regular basis is very much recommended. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in today's chapter 17, it is quite a long chapter. But what we can do is we can only take some portions of it and relish at least some of that. So in this chapter, it is said that Vrindavan, Krishnadas Kaviraj had described the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the age of 16 until he takes a renounced order of life, sannyas, that is 24 years. So the pastimes that occurred, that happened between age 16 and 24. And we have heard it many times. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur had written a book called Chaitanya Bhagavat, which details the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he could not describe the Lord's later pastimes so vividly. That's why the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, was requested to write the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's Krishnadas Kaviraj, what he does is that whatever had been described elaborately in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he describes not so elaborately here. Only synopsis he gives in Chaitanya Charitamrita, because that is already described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. And the things that are not elaborately described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he will describe in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's take a couple of pastimes and wonderful lessons. Very, very beautiful and very instructive information is there, and we all can read and experience joy if you stay with us another 30-40 minutes. So let me share the screen. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, we are there. So I don't know why, but I felt maybe we should start with this pastime of mango. So right, could I have a volunteer, please? Somebody 79 onwards. You want to read, Lalita Preeti?
Yes, I will. One day the Lord performed Sankirtana with all his devotees, and when they were greatly fatigued, they sat down. The Lord then sowed a mango seed in the yard, and immediately the seed fructified into a tree and began to grow. As people looked on, the tree became fully grown with fruits that fully ripened. Thus everyone was struck with wonder. The Lord immediately picked about 200 fruits, and after washing them, he offered them to Krishna to eat. The fruits were all red and yellow, with no seed inside and no skin outside. And eating one fruit would immediately fill a man's belly. Seeing the quality of mangoes, the Lord was greatly satisfied. And thus, after eating first, he fed all the other devotees. The fruits had no seeds or skins. They were full of nectarian juice and were so sweet that a man would fully satisfy by eating only one. In this way, fruits grew on the tree every day throughout the 12 months of the year, and the Vaishnavas used to eat them to the Lord's great satisfaction.
Thank
These
you.
are confidential pastimes of son of Sachi. Other than devotees, no one knows of this incident. Haribol.
Thank you very much.
A mango in the shop.
So we earlier today we were at a Asian store and we saw some mangoes. And my daughter wanted me to purchase some mangoes, but we did not get them. And so this pastime is so nice. Here it is said that the fruits were grown throughout the year, 12 months. Only in summer season, usually we get this mangoes here in India especially. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so they had the fruits throughout the year. And luckily, there is no seed, no skin. So this represents the spiritual world also. This is how the spiritual world, in spiritual world also, you will get all the fruits in all seasons. So I thought I would begin with that pastime. In his youth, between 16 to 24, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is said that he dressed very nicely and he used to put a lot of ornaments, and chandan means the sandalwood pulp, and he used to garland and decorate himself very nicely. And he was a great scholar and he used to defeat all other people. In this chapter, it is described Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once visited Gaya. There is a place in India called Gaya. It is near on the bank of Ganges, and people often go there to offer oblations to departed ancestors. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father, Jagannath Mishra, had passed away. So he went to Gaya to offer oblations to his father there. And in Gaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ishwarapuri. And from Ishwarapuri, he took initiation. And it is said that he developed so many ecstatic symptoms after that. So one point here, I just wanted to mention that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being the Supreme Lord himself, we know that Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. So he's non-different from Radha and Krishna, and he's the Supreme Lord himself in the guise of a devotee, and he came here to experience that mood, that pleasure that Radharani was experiencing herself. So yet, but he took initiation from a spiritual master. This is very important, that sometimes people question that, do I need a spiritual master? Do I need to take initiation? But here, another example that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself had a spiritual master. When we take initiation, we are surrendering to higher authority. Indirectly, we are surrendering to the Lord himself. This authority, this system is given by us, given to us by the Lord. And so it is important that people take initiation. That's one thing that I wanted to bring up from that pastime. And people often question, I don't need Prabhupada books are there, Prabhupada instructions are there, in his books, I don't need a spiritual master. But Prabhupada himself had a spiritual master. Prabhupada's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, had a spiritual master. Krishna had a spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a spiritual master. So it is better to surrender to some higher authority in the line of disciplic succession. That's one thing that I wanted to bring up from that pastime. And then later, this is a wonderful event that occurred. Shuklambara Brahmachari, we will read that very nicely. Shuklambara Brahmachari, he gave some rice to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He ate that rice, and after that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains this verse of Harer Nama Maiva Kevalam, famous verse, to him in detail. So we will read that, and so many wonderful things that we can learn from this incident. Let me just go to text 20 onwards. Could I have a volunteer, please, to read this bit? Yeah, from text 20 onwards. If no one is there, I can pick up someone. Who would like to read?
I will have a go for you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. 20. After this incident, the Lord ate raw rice given by Suklabara, if I said it right, Brahmachari, and explained very elaborately the import of the Harinama sloka mentioned in the Brihan Naradiya Purana. I'll just close my door because my son's coming.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it'll help you still shout. 21. In this age of Kali, there is no other means for self-realization than chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name of Lord Hari. In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord and Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this is certainly delivered. This verse repeats the word Eva, certainly, 3 times for emphasis, and it also 3 times repeats Harinama, the holy name of the Lord, just to make common people understand. I can't see any more, sorry to read. Hare Krishna.
Can you scroll?
Thank you so much. I've got to find where I was now. What text am I on?
Sorry. Yeah.
It wasn't up for any further, you say. Yes, is it 23?
Yes, please.
No, I've done that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, 24. The use of the word Kevala only prohibits all other processes, such as the cultivation of knowledge, practice of mystic yoga, or performance of austerities and fruitive activities. This verse clearly states that anyone who accepts any other path cannot be delivered. This is the reason for the triple repetition. Nothing else, which emphasize the real process of self-realization. To chant the holy name always, one should be humbler than the grass in the street and devoid of all desire for personal honor. But one should offer others all respectful obeisances. A devotee engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord should practice forbearance like that of a tree. Even if rebuked or chastised, he should not say anything to others to retaliate. For even if one cuts a tree, it never protests, and even if it is drying up or undying, it does not ask anyone for water. Thus a Vaishnava should not ask anything from anyone else. If someone gives him something without being asked, he should accept it. But if nothing comes, a Vaishnava should be satisfied to eat whatever vegetable and fruit are easily available. One should strictly follow the principle of always chanting the holy name, and one should be satisfied with whatever he gets easily. Such devotional behavior solidly maintains one's devotional service. one who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respects to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Raising my hands, I declare, everyone, please hear me. String this verse on the thread of the holy name, and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. One must strictly follow the principles given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this verse. If one simply follows in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya and the Goswamis, certainly he will achieve the ultimate goal of life, the lotus feet of Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. That's very nice reading. Very, very beautiful description of this verse and how it should be chanted. So here, if I can just pick up from these verses, a couple of important points here it's mentioned. So maybe we can read the text 24. Maybe 23, there is no purport, I guess. Let me see, there is no purport. Yeah, there is a purport, yeah. Okay. So the purport to 23rd verse says, let me read the translation as this verse repeats the word Eva certainly 3 times for emphasis, and it also 3 times repeats Arar Nama, the holy name of the Lord, just to make common people understand. This verse, Arar Nama, Meva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva Gatiranyadaha. This verse is found in Bruhat Naradiya Purana, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes and explains this verse to Shuklambar Brahmachari in detail. And in this verse, you can see that the word Arar Nama is mentioned 3 times. So when something is very important, you repeat that, don't you? Very, very important. Even in that famous verse from 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 26, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Krishna says bhakti twice. So if you remember that verse, that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhakti Uparutamashnami Prayatatmanaha. In that verse, Krishna quotes bhakti twice. So the bhakti is important when we are offering something to the Lord. The main ingredient is bhakti. So that's why Lord mentioned it twice. And in this particular verse, Arar Nama, so Arar Nama, the holy name of the Lord, the holy name of the Hari was mentioned 3 times. Because common people can understand. And he said, and Nastyeva. Eva certainly. There is no other way, certainly there is no other way, certainly there is no other way, certainly there is no other way. To give emphasis to this particular Arar Nama. And in text 24, Prabhupada explains it in detail. We will read the purport probably for that one. Maybe could I ask someone, Gaur Harti Mataji, would you like to read?
Happy to read, Prabhuji. I'm sorry, I was just a little busy earlier.
No, don't worry.
Should I read the translation and the purport?
As well, yeah, yes, please.
The use of the word Kevala only prohibits all other processes, such as the cultivation of knowledge, practice of mystic yoga, or performance of austerities and fruitive activities. Our Krishna consciousness movement stresses the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra only, whereas those who do not know the secret of success for this age of Kali unnecessarily indulge in the cultivation of knowledge, the practice of mystic yoga, or the performance of fruitive activities or useless austerities. They are simply wasting their time and misleading their followers. When we point this out very plainly to an audience, members of opposing groups become angry at us. But according to the injunctions of the Shastra, we cannot make compromises with these so-called Gyanis, Yogis, Karmis, and Tapasvis. When they say they are as good as we are, we must say that only we are good and that they are not good. This is not our obstinacy. It is the injunction of the Shastras. We must not deviate from the injunctions of the Shastras. This is confined in the next verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Thank you. And
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So here it gives us faith, and our faith becomes even strengthened when we read these scriptural injunctions that we are following the right bona fide process. Just imagine that whatever Prabhupada has given is not manufactured by himself. Yes, it is based on the scriptural evidence. So here, that the word Haranam, Kevalam means only by this process and by nothing else. It is said it is like Haranam is repeated 3 times, and it also means that nothing by other means, such as developing knowledge and following the process of mystic yoga or performing fruitive activities or austerities. Nothing like that. Nastyeva, like that. Nothing by that. So this is a bona fide process. Prabhupada put so much stress on this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had put so much stress on this. Prabhupada repeatedly says this, that we have implemented this process in our movement. We have seen so many results, wonderful results. People who chanted this mantra have completely transformed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while explaining this verse to Shuklambara Brahmachari, that we can see one important point he mentions repeatedly. That one, he says that to chant the holy names always, one should be humbler than the grass in the street and devoid of all desire for personal honor, but one should offer others all respectful obeisances. A devotee engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord should practice forbearance like that of a tree. Even if rebuked or chastised, he should not say anything to others to retaliate. For even if one cuts a tree, it never protests. And even if it is drying up, dying, it does not ask anyone for water. Prabhupada writes here, I'll read the purport, small purport. This practice of forbearance, taroreva sahishna, is difficult. To tolerate like that of a tree is not that easy. It's very difficult. Yes. But when one actually engages in chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, the quality of forbearance automatically develops. We don't endeavor for forbearance separately, but by practicing devotion, by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, one develops the quality of forbearance automatically. A person advanced in spiritual consciousness through the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra need not to practice to develop it separately. For a devotee, develop all good qualities simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra regularly. So loudly say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he says, Because a Vaishnava should not ask anything from anyone else. If someone gives something without being asked, he should accept it. But if nothing comes, a Vaishnava should be satisfied to eat whatever vegetables and fruits are easily available. And then later on, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes that famous verse from Shishtastakam. Trunadapi sunichena tarori vasahishnuna amani namanadena kirtaniya sadahari. Kirtaniya sadahari, one is able to chant the holy name of the Lord always, only when one practices this forbearance. Because the material nature is going to disturb us. If we do not develop enough tolerance, then we get disturbed and carried away, and our sadhana and our chanting get disturbed. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that, "Oh my Vaishnavas, I raise my hand and I request that you should string this verse on the holy name, put it around your neck." What is the verse that we should put around our neck?
The Mahamantra.
Trunadapi Sunichena.
Trunadapi Sunichena. And the thread is Harinam.
Harinam.
So these are the beads, like, this verse like Trunadapi Sunichena, that, tolerating like a tree and humbler than a grass on the blade of grass on the street, and giving all respects and expecting no respect is a very high tall, isn't it? Yeah, very high tall. But to the degree we have that, to that degree we are able to chant. Or the another words, they're interrelated, isn't it? The more we chant nicely, the more we develop the quality of forbearance. And the more we endeavor for the forbearance, and we are more able to chant the holy name. So they're interlinked. But this verse for a Vaishnava is like a necklace. Necklace is ornament. Generally, when you go out and people put various things around their neck, especially the ladies, and they put so many things, nice ornaments. And for a Vaishnava, the decoration, the best necklace is this verse. Trunadapi sunichena tarore vasahishnuna amani namanadena kirtaniya sadahari. Because these things will come. If you're not tolerant enough, what we would do two things. We would either leave the path or get carried away, get disturbed, or we will just, offend others. So to a degree, and we all have to practice this thing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so nicely explained this beautiful verse from Bruhad Naradiya Purana. Arannama meva kelonam kalo nastyeva gatir anyadha. So, and after that, there is another pastime that we will read one purport. So we know that Panchatattva, in Panchatattva we have Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas. So we know Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna himself, Radha and Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu is Balram, and Advaita Acharya Mahavishnu, and also combined form of Sadashiva. And you have Gadadhar, non-different from Radharani. Srivas represents a devotee who is non-different from Narad. And so every day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during this time between, before his sannyas initiation, and during this time, age 16 to 24, he used to do nice kirtan there with his intimate associates. And one time, he actually sat on the altar of Srivas Thakur in the house. He sat on the altar and he manifested a transcendental nature. And this is called Mahaprakash Leela. And devotees could see his divine form. And while he's seated, and he was so merciful, and so many people were coming. You ask, like Mahaprabhu said, you ask, I will give everything, like that. So devotees were coming and asking so many things, please make my mother devotee, please make my father devotee, please make my child devotee, my neighbor devotee, like that. So Mahaprabhu was so merciful, and he was giving benedictions like that. And his mother, devotees, actually, his mother wanted pure love of Krishna. And let's read that verse. So this one is text 24, Sachimata. Okay, I got wrong. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Number 10. Hare Krishna, yeah. Can someone read the translation and purport? I will share the screen. Sorry, I've not shared it.
Shall I read it?
Yes, please.
Thereafter the Lord... Sorry.
Yeah, the right one. Hare Krishna.
I thought somebody else started reading, so I stopped.
No, please carry on, Mataji.
Thereafter, the Lord delivered love of Krishna to his mother, Sachi Devi, nullifying her offense at the feet of Advaita Acharya. There was a meeting with Advaita Acharya, who later had a vision of the Lord's universal form.
Purport.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting on the throne of Vishnu in the house of Srivas Prabhu, and in a mood of his own, he said, "My mother has offended the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. Unless she nullifies this offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, it will not be possible for her to achieve love of Krishna." Hearing this, all the devotees went to bring Advaita Acharya there. While coming to see the Lord, Advaita Acharya was glorifying the characteristics of Mother Sachi, and thus, upon arrival, he fell down on the ground in ecstasy. Then, under the instruction of Lord Chaitanya, Sachi Devi took advantage of this situation to touch Advaita Acharya's lotus feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much pleased by his mother's action, and he said, "Now my mother's offense at the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya has been rectified, and she may have love of Krishna without difficulty." By this example, Lord Chaitanya taught everyone that although one may be very much advanced in Krishna consciousness, if one offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, his advancement will not bear fruit. We should therefore be very cautious not to offend a Vaishnava. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has described such an offense as follows. As a mad elephant may trample all the plants in a garden, so by committing one offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, one may spoil all the devotional service he has accumulated in his life. After this incident, one day, Advaita Acharya Prabhu requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to display the universal form he had kindly shown Arjun. Lord Chaitanya agreed to this proposal, and Advaita Prabhu was fortunate enough to see the universal form of the Lord. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Any realizations from this purport? Anybody would like to share, comment?
We just have to be so careful, Prabhuji. It's so easily done. We can hurt somebody's feelings without even realizing ourselves that we have hurt somebody's feelings. But as an arrow has gone out, it's going to hurt someone. Similarly, unkind words will hurt someone, and they will actually hurt our progress. So better to stay quiet than to say words in haste. It's safer. We can get nowhere with making such small, tiny offenses, which may appear small, but they are not small. If the Lord was not, he was setting an example for us that she may be my mother. She's such an elevated person. She's Yashodama. He was not willing to forgive her, only to make an example to us that doesn't matter who. I will not forgive, because his love for the devotees is so great. His favorite is his devotees, and he doesn't want them to hurt themselves by committing. So it's a caution here. Don't make silly mistakes, because by doing so, it will come in the way of your progressing and coming towards me. So he uses even his mother as an example. Of course, he loves his mother so much. She is such an elevated person, eternal, person, eternally committed to serving the Lord. This is what I think. And I would say to myself, better be quiet. Don't say anything to anyone in case you hurt someone's feelings. Devotees are generally sensitive, and they get hurt very easily as well.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. So the pastime, thank you very much for sharing that. And, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother is Vishwaroop, isn't it? Yes, Vishwaroop. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name is Vishwambar. And Vishwaroop used to attend Advaita Acharya classes, teaching classes, used to attend. And so we all know that Vishwaroop took sannyas. He left home. Yes, by association with Advaita Acharya, Vishwaroop left home. So Mother Sachi, had that. Yes, it hurt Mother Sachi. Any mother, you have a dear son who is going to leave you and leave your house and go somewhere else. You feel so much separated. And she said that actually this Advaita means oneness, one. One. Advaita means one. So actually it's not Advaita, it's Dvaita, dual. He says one thing, he does other things like that. But that was a small thing that Lord wanted to demonstrate. And the other principle is he also demonstrated from this instant that sometimes we do make offense, and incidentally, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes accidentally. Sometimes accidentally we make. We were reading Srimad Bhagavatam a few weeks ago. How Parikshit Maharaj, it was an accidental mistake. He had never done it. That is out of his character, completely out of his character. So that happened accidentally. But the remedy Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suggests here, that we should go and beg forgiveness from that devotee. That is what the principle demonstrated here. That if he make an offense accidentally, that we should just simply ask forgiveness. And that's why Lord said that I won't give pure love of God to my own mother. But you are right, Gaurharti Mataji, that is demonstrating this principle. There is also another instant in the same chapter of Gopal Chapal. I'll briefly narrate this pastime in 1 or 2 minutes. So every night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates were having this intimate kirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur. And so many people were not allowed because they were not non-believers of this Sankirtan movement. So they were, they were envious, and that's why they were not allowed. And one day, one Brahman called Gopal Chapal, so he wanted to just defame Srivas Thakur for holding these special kirtans, and he put some paraphernalia which is actually meant for the worship of Kali or Durga, you put some wine, etc., like that. So he offended Srivas Thakur by placing this in front of Srivas Thakur house. And Gopal Chaupal soon develops leprosy, white leprosy. And so he left the village and he started to live on the bank of Ganga under a tree. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to Ganga to take bath, and he happened to meet this Gopal Chaupal. And Gopal Chaupal said, my Lord, you appeared to deliver all the fallen souls. I am also fallen. I'm in a very, terrible condition. Please deliver me. Please deliver me. And Mahaprabhu was very angry, because sometimes Lord can take, Lord doesn't like his devotees to be offended. Sometimes if you make an offense at the feet of Lord, Lord may forgive. But if you make an offense, if someone makes an offense at the feet of his devotee, Lord takes it very seriously, because Srivas Thakur was his devotee, and Lord took it so seriously. He became very angry. No, you need to suffer like that. But after some time, Lord met him again and said that, go and beg forgiveness from Srivas Thakur. If he blesses you, then I will forgive you. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so blessed this Gopal Chaupal eventually later on. But there are so many other pastimes that we don't have time. But at least we can take something from this chapter. So a couple of important points that I mentioned. Recap, just quick recap. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwarapuri in Gaya. So that means that this taking initiation is a bona fide process. One surrender oneself to the spiritual master. This way he surrenders. By surrendering to spiritual master, is one surrender to the Supreme Lord. When we offer respects to spiritual master, that respects will be transferred to Krishna. He is the representative of the Lord. So this is a bona fide process that taking initiation is very much needed. And secondly, we discussed the Hare Nama verse and the repetition of the holy name of Hari, the holy name of Hari, the holy name of Hari 3 times indicates the importance to that name. Also indicates there is no other process other than this, which is like cultivation of knowledge, or practicing mystic yoga, or practicing undergoing austerities and doing some fruitive activities. These are not the means. Only the name of Hari can save one from danger in this Kali Yuga. And to actually chant this mantra more often or regularly, or as much as possible, one has to develop this quality of forbearance, tolerance is required. And that's what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, and he quotes the verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that how by tolerating like a tree and humbler than being lower than being a grass, humbler than being like humbler than a grass blade of a grass on the street, and offering all respects to others, expecting no respect, is the key for chanting of the holy name. And he requests that all the Vaishnavas, they should have an ornament. They should wear this as a necklace. Every Vaishnava should wear this as a necklace. For Vaishnava, it is a beautifying ornament, isn't it? Everybody wears some ornament so that they can look more beautiful. And Vaishnava looks more beautiful when one develops these qualities. Prabhupada says that this quality they are interlinked. By chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we will develop quality of forbearance, and by endeavoring to practice forbearance, we can chant Hare Krishna mantra on a regular basis. And also later we discussed this pastime of Mahaprakash Leela, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his divine form, and he was giving blessings to all other devotees, and where we saw this pastime of Mahaprabhu requesting his own mother to beg forgiveness from Advaita Acharya. And so also we discussed the pastime of Gopal Chapal and how we should be careful in not offending the Vaishnavas. But if by mistake, accidentally, we offend, then we should definitely beg forgiveness and apologize. That is the message from this chapter. There are a number of other pastimes, but we don't have time. I will stop it there. And if anybody has any comments or questions, please do so. And then I will make a quick announcement after that.
Prabhuji, could I say something?
Sure.
So, Prabhuji, where you have explained this, actually the verse Tranadapi Suniche now is telling us to be lower than the straw on the street. And that actually means that we are meant to be so humble. And when he is giving the example of, or he's making an example of his mother to take, apologize to Advaita Acharya, when he is saying to Gopala Chapal that go, because the story continues where he says, go and take, beg forgiveness of the person you have offended. Srivas Thakur. In the same way, when you're actually asking forgiveness, when we have to say sorry to someone, we have to actually be humble.
Yes.
So that same point is being made, that we cannot chant the names of the Lord. So when Gopala Chapal is asking forgiveness of the Lord, saying, you're very kind, can you please forgive me? The Lord is saying, no, I'm not forgiving you. He's also saying, well, you're actually not sorry. Because if you were sorry and you knew you had hurt somebody, you will go and say sorry to that person. So to be humble means, so asking forgiveness of other devotees, we mustn't let the pride come in between. Or how can I say it? Because when we are unable to say sorry, we are unable to actually grasp that verse. So if we want to actually bring this verse into our life and be humble, then we need to have our hands joined and sorry coming like it doesn't matter. Sorry is not difficult to say. When it is difficult to say, means it tells us where our status is and where have we reached in our sadhana. So it's a question mark on your sadhana when you cannot say sorry. And when you can say sorry very easily and it doesn't hurt you in any way, it means you're doing all right.
Yeah, we should genuinely feel also that sorry.
Yes, absolutely. It has to come. No, it's not a matter of just saying it for the sake of saying it. You must feel it. Absolutely. You have to feel it.
Just like from the story of Parikshit Maharaj, he was repenting after that incident.
Yes.
So when something mistakenly, incidentally happens, we should also repent. And we should go and beg forgiveness. There is no problem because we all be influenced by our modes of nature. And by actually saying this, we are respecting the laws of nature. Sometimes, yes, we understand, yes, I am nowhere above the laws of nature. I am under the laws of nature, under the influence of laws of Krishna's modes of nature. No, I made a mistake. We do mistakes.
Yes, very easily.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you for that. And Sumadhur Radhika Mataji, thank you for your comments. Appreciate. So this year, being the 125th appearance anniversary year of Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON UK has planned a wonderful 2-day event beginning from tomorrow. It's an online retreat where a number of wonderful speakers will be talking about Srila Prabhupada and talking about his glories, his pastimes. So it's a 2-day program, Saturday and Sunday, and there will be 3 sessions each day, so that if some devotee is not able to attend one session, they can attend the other, but they're all different. So if you have time, and this is the best way to use our bank holiday weekend. We are like, as followers of ISKCON and followers of Srila Prabhupada, we owe a lot to Srila Prabhupada. And if we have, if we can make time to attend these classes, to hear from these wonderful devotees, glorifying Srila Prabhupada, that will be simply amazing. And the communication has been sent out, and please do register. It seems they only send the link, Zoom link, when you register. That's my understanding. But that message is there, sent out. The communication has been sent out. So please do register and do take time to attend. And if someone is not here, someone doesn't know your friend or family, others, please do convey this message to others. And as a result of this, we have decided to cancel our Sunday class because so that devotees can focus on this program, because one of the sessions on Sunday starts at some 2:30. So we want devotees to very much actually to participate in that program and fully take advantage of it. So as a result of that, there is no Sunday class. However, there is a morning Bhagavatam class tomorrow, and the devotee for this month is Parikshit Maharaj. Will be given by Sita Devi Mataji. So please do take time to attend this program in the morning. And that's it from me. And thank you so much, everyone, for taking time to be with us on Zoom, and for your valuable association. We very much appreciate it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
No, thanks very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.